The second section of Chapter 2 is still dealing with exponent rules, but you're going to be applying different things. So what it's saying is, if I'm multiplying 2 powers, so 3 to the 4th times 3 to the 2nd, 3 to the 4th means I'm doing 4 3s, and 3 to the 2nd means I'm doing 2 3s. So if I count out all of those 3s, I should have 6 3s, which is why you're going to write it as 3 to the 6th. So what they end up showing you that is if when you multiply 2 powers, rather than writing it out every time, you can just add those 2 exponents together. So this is your first rule of what we're also going to be doing. So I'm going to add my 2 exponents when I'm multiplying 2 like powers. Alright, let's take a look at some examples. So this says it wants me to write the expression using the base only once. So if I have 12 to the 4th and 12 to the 3rd, they have the same bases, so I can add these exponents. So I would write it as 12, so the base does not change, and then this would show me how many 12s I would have. So I would add them and I would get 7, so 12 to the 7th. Now look at letter B. -5 to the -2nd, -5 to the 7th. They have the same base, so I'm going to add these exponents. So -2 plus 7 is 5. So again, notice my base does not change. I have a tendency that some students always want to multiply those bases, and that's not the case. We want to show how many -5s we're going to have left over. Alright, you're going to pause the video and try the got it questions. So in letter A on the got it question, you should be getting 8 to the 9th because you're going to keep the base the same and add those exponents. On letter B, you should get 0.5 to the -11th, again, keeping the base the same, adding your exponents. And then last, even though there's 3 of them, you're still going to do the same thing. I'm going to add the exponents, and then I'm going to keep the base the same. So you should be getting 9 to the 5th power. Okay, now let's see what that looks like when we have more terms than just one. So notice here, I have 4z to the 5th times 9z to the -12th. Well, when I'm multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, I'm always looking for like terms. So remember, there's an invisible multiplication sign in between that 4 and z, and there's an invisible multiplication sign in between the 9 and the z. The reason I write it out is so that you can see that these are not necessarily stuck together. So I'm going to multiply my like terms, which means I'm going to multiply my 4 and 9 together, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to combine my z's together. So 4 times 9 means I'm going to be getting 36. And then I'm going to go ahead and combine my z's. Now when I'm multiplying my exponents, I'm going to be adding. Multiplying my powers, I'm going to be adding those exponents. So this is going to give me z to the -7th. Now this connects to where we have from the last chapter. You cannot leave your answer with a negative exponent. So this is where we're going to change it into a fraction form, and I'm going to move that exponent that was negative, it's going to go to the bottom. So now I have 36 over z to the 7th. Alright, let's take a look at another one. I have 2a times 9b to the 4th times 3a squared. So I'm going to multiply all of my constants, so 2 times 9 times 3, so that's going to give me 54. Then I'm going to multiply my other like terms, so I see a and a squared. Now remember, this is representing how many a's I have, so since there is no exponent here, go ahead and put a 1 there so you don't forget to do it. So if I add these 2 exponents, I would have a to the 3rd, and then the b is not going to have anybody to combine with, so I would have to just add it on at the end. So multiply like terms. So 2 times 9 times 3, my a's go together, so it's going to become a to the 3rd, and then the b to the 4th has nobody to combine with, so it's going to stay by itself. Alright, you're going to pause the video and try the next 3. Okay, on letter A, you should be multiplying 5 and 3 and getting 15. then you should be adding all the exponents on the x's. Make sure you have x to the 14th because there's an invisible 1 on that last x there. So that's how you should be getting 14, not 13. Letter B, multiplying like terms. So you should be multiplying -4, 7, and 2 and getting -56. Combining my c, so I would get c to the first, and then d has nobody to combine with, so it just gets put in the final answer. Last one, looking for like terms. I only have one number, so it's just going to be 12. Then I have a couple j's that I need to combine together. So I would have j to the third, and I would have k to the -2nd. Now remember, I can't have negative exponents, so I would change it into fraction form, and then k needs to go to the bottom. So 12 and j to the third will stay on top, and k to the second is going to go to the bottom. Now remember, with all of these exponents, they're going to build, so you want to make sure you're getting in a habit of when do I add them, how do I know if I'm done, so always be checking to make sure that you have simplified all of your negative exponents when you finish.